Give away your best ideas. Just give them away. Introduce them to people, tell them they need to put them into action, explain why they work, and explain how they work. Give away your best ideas, because when you do, people still won't be able to implement them effectively, and they'll call you to help with the implementation. Here's the thing. If there's a client out there that's doing it themselves, they're probably not going to be your client. If they won't purchase your product or your service, or they don't want the experience you can provide, then you're not the right fit for them. Give away your best ideas, demonstrate your expertise. People will come back to you for more time and time again. Stop cold calling. Experts don't cold call, and I want you to be perceived as an expert by everyone with whom you'll work. So how do you do this? Let's say you're selling credit card processing. You got to stop knocking on doors. Go out and give presentations on cash flow and how to improve cash flow. And then when people ask what you do, you can talk about credit card processing and how you add value. Write articles on improving cash flow. Deliver messages everywhere on improving cash flow. Become the cash flow expert, and people will come work with you. I don't care what business you're in. You can seize the mantle of expertise, stop cold calling, get people to come to you, and you'll make more money as a result. If you want to sell more, you've got to communicate with people on their terms, not your terms. This means you have to go where your clients and your prospects are. So if that means sending out a weekly email, send out a weekly email with your message. If it means being on Facebook or Instagram, or it means being on Snapchat, then you have to go to those places. If your clients, if your prospects are on Twitter, you got to be there and you got to communicate with them there. Take your message to where your clients are, and if your clients are dispersed and they're in more than one place, be in as many places as you possibly can. You've got to communicate with your clients in the way they want to receive the message, and if you do, they will respond by doing business with you. Be vulnerable. Say you're sorry, be brutally honest, tell stories about how things happened to you and they didn't exactly go the way you wanted them to. Make damaging admissions. Demonstrating vulnerability is one of the quickest ways to get people to open up and to begin to trust you. So if you want to develop a relationship with someone, talk about some things that help them see your humanity, that help them relate to you, that make them feel like you are just like them. And then you'll be able to develop a relationship quickly because you'll have laid a foundation of trust right from the beginning. Demonstrate your vulnerability, people will begin to trust you quickly. Write to your clients. I know you love video. I love video too. But the way you write is the way you think. When you send email and actual letters to clients, when you send them snail mail, when you send them something in the post office that they receive in their mailbox, they're going to look at that piece of paper or look at that email, they're going to read it, and they're going to think to themselves, this is someone who's taken the time to put their thoughts in writing, and they'll process the information differently. The way you write is the way you think. If you write to your clients, they will respond by writing back or by communicating with you in a more aggressive and more thoughtful way. Why aren't we working together? That's a question you can ask any prospect that you've been pursuing for a long time. Just come right out and say, why aren't we working together? Now, there are 4 specific reasons why people choose not to work with you: no trust, no money, no decision-making authority, or no problem. If they don't have any of those things, or if they're missing one of those things, they won't do business with you. But you need to know it. So ask the question. If you've been chasing a prospect for a long time, if you've been trying to connect with someone for a long time and you finally see them and you know you have value you can provide to them, simply look at them and say, why aren't we working together? Dinner means dollars. There's no other way to look at it. At least once a month, you and your significant other, or you and someone who will represent you well, need to go to dinner with a prospective client and introduce them to someone who's already a client. This is a couple's thing. You and your significant other, your prospect and his or her significant other, and your client and their significant other. You're introducing the couples to one another, and you're having stimulating conversation over dinner. This can be in a restaurant, it can be in your home, it can be at a sports event or someplace where there's the opportunity to talk. Usually loud concerts are not a great opportunity for this, but sporting events and quiet shows, especially shows with intermissions, are great for introducing people to one another who can do business, become a social connector, and business will follow. Stop talking about business. When I go to a social event, I don't want to hear about your business unless I ask. When you are networking, that's one thing. If you're in a business setting and you're focused on growing and developing your business, that's fine. You can talk about your business all you want. But when we're in a social setting, I want to get to know you as a person. And if I get to know you as a person, it's more likely that I'll do business with you. So stop talking about business. Talk about things that are interesting to you. Talk about things that are interesting to me. Let's have a conversation like real people. Let's talk like human beings. Let's get to know each other, and business will follow. Give it a try. I used that exact phrase to sell a $300,000 employee engagement survey, and it was the very first thing I sold. My client was an HR leader, the Senior Vice President of Human Resources, and they were required by their board to do an employee engagement survey each year. Our survey was twice as expensive as the leading competitor, but I promised the results would be actionable, and I promised that our analysis of the results would give them some information that they hadn't seen before that would help them make more money in their business. The HR leader was struggling, and I looked at him and I said, give it a try. And he said, you know what? I just want the weight of this decision to be off my shoulders, and he did. Next time you have a prospect who's struggling with a decision, just look them in the eye and say, give it a try. You need to be on stage speaking to groups of people. If you want your business to explode, if you want to be treated like an expert, if you want people to come to you with any regularity, with any consistency at all, you got to be on stage speaking. Start out by going to local groups, Rotary clubs, Kiwanis clubs, business groups, business clubs, mastermind groups in your area, and speak to them about the message your company has and how you can help them make more money, solve a problem, achieve a goal. Don't sell, deliver value, and then collect their contact information and follow up with everyone who is in the audience. Public speaking is the way to go to increase visibility, to differentiate yourself, and to enhance your credibility. You want to be perceived as an expert, go out and speak to every group you possibly can and position yourself as an expert right from the beginning. Get your clients together at an appreciation event and introduce them to one another. Magic will follow. I promise you, if you get your clients together at a client appreciation event, get some beer and wine, some hors d'oeuvres, and a light buffet, have it set up in the conference room in your office, clean the place up, invite 50 of your clients over, talk for 5 minutes, and then introduce people to one another, you will create a community of people saying good things about you, and your business will grow. You'll get at least 2 or 3 new pieces of business as a result because you're showing people you appreciate them and you're introducing them to other people they can do business with. Host a client appreciation event, your business will explode. Focus on one message at a time. Focus on one message at a time. If you're sending out communication or you're making a video or you're sending out some sort of email to promote a product or a service, one message at a time. Don't confuse me, don't confuse your clients with 3, 4, 5 different calls to action. Focus on one thing, hammer one point home over and over again in each communication, and you'll find that your clients find it easier to take action. Your clients will find it easier to do business with you. They'll buy from you on a regular basis because they know what you want them to do. Focus on one message at a time. You'll be glad you did. Introduce your best client to somebody who can do business with him. It's time for you to put more money in your client's pocket. I know you're doing a great job. I know that you're better than everyone else who does what you do. But you've got to go above and beyond, and that includes putting money in your clients' pockets. So find someone right now, today, you can introduce your best client to, make sure that person is qualified to do business with them, and then go to work. Make that introduction, sell your best client to someone who can work with him, put some money in his pocket, and he will be a client for a very long time. You must have a system for your sales process. You must have a system. It must go step by step. If you don't know what's next in order to convert each prospect in your pipeline from prospect to client, then you don't have a system. Everyone in your database should be at some stage in your system, and you should know what's next. If you don't have a system, you're an amateur. Get a system, follow the system, and you'll close more deals. Stick with it. Don't give up. That's the best advice I've ever received. In everything I've done, I never hit the ball out of the park. I never hit a home run in my first time at bat. Everything I've ever done in my entire career has required me to be persistent. I'm encouraging you now to stick with it. Stick with your sales process. Stick with that big deal, that big prospect you keep chasing. Stick with it. Stick with your product. Stick with your industry. Stick with the experience, the great experience you're creating. Have faith that you're on the right track, because you are. Stick with it. Don't give up. That's the path to success. Pump me up. Be positive. I should leave a conversation with you feeling better than when the conversation started. People want to work with people who make them feel good. People want to work with people who energize them. People want to work with people who they look forward to seeing on a regular basis. If your clients and your prospects don't look forward to seeing you, if they're not excited to have you around them, you got to change your attitude. You need to be more positive. You need to be the person that people want to be around all the time. Be positive, you'll sell more, you'll make more money, and you'll have more fun doing it.